How's that toe?
Oh, it's he's dead.
Your pants?
No, sir, I just took a bath.
No, sir, it goes in.
Did you say you just took a bath?
Yeah, I took several baths.
Oh.
I have to take.
Cleanliness, you know, that's a positive thing.
Stop, sir.
Yeah, so bad.
I know you are not cutting those corners or mowing them. Good, make your lines.
Sir, the finish amputated.
Same healing process. Get scared. Ready? Alright. Feet together, stretch forward. Breathe while you're stretching. So this is one thing that I try to do myself when I get winded, is stretch like this, because it will literally force you to learn how to breathe deep. It's not comfortable, it's not pleasant, but it's something you need to learn how to do. Feet shoulders apart, stretch to your right.
Sir, the item that, we are working on,
Right, that's me, relax.
the item that we've been working on, it keeps on breaking and stuff like that. So, anyway, I saw this and I said, that thing's got to go. So,
So, we'll have to put another belt on it, alright? Okay. So, for those of you who do not know about the dojo potato tradition, Mr. Sampson's not here tonight. I think it wasn't him that came up with that? Or-
Yes, sir.
It was, you were him, or y'all together?
we kind of,
Anyway.
came up with it, I executed it.
So if you're not familiar with the tradition, what we have had is, this is the second Mr. Potato that, Miss Pam's daughter drew, and if it wasn't for all the
Nasties.
Mr. Potato's dead. Yes, so we have one now that won't rise. All right, stretch to your right. Thank you, Miss Pam. You do not know how many times I have wanted to throw this thing away.
Thank you, Miss Pam.
And, a certain green belt in class would say, you can't do that.
But there is something else that's coming. but
What?
It will join.
Back in the middle.
So start something. I was at my friend's house and I helped fix his.
See, that's already a fallacy right there, but you said friend.
Yeah, we know that this is false.
Alex.
You know.
And I helped them fix their.
To your left.
Like, oh, it's a whole uniform? For you, we put duct tape over it, then you just fix it. You just make it worse. Duct tape works on. Yeah, especially cloth.
Back in the middle.
It was one of those inflatables.
And then I fix it.
Feet together. Stretch. Hands on the floor. Walk them out. Yokogiri stretch. Make your ankles tight. Make sure those side ankles are tight. Was that where your heel in tight? There you go. Push that heel out. That's right. Turn to your right. Toes to the ceiling. Try to push that foot out as far as you can. You gotta turn more, Matthew. Put your chest toward your knee. your right hand behind the leg. There you go, now turn your body, there you go. Back in the middle, Yoko Gary.
So sir, did you hear about what Mr. Logan did?
He showed me something.
A full hit maybe.
We'll put a patch over it, man, put your helmet on, you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, I hope we're fine.
Other side.
Hope you're going to the turn, just when you go up there, you just.
Check that knee out, Mr. Simmons. Back in the middle.
So sir, the tournament is in Dothan, right?
Yes, sir. Big Civic Center right downtown.
So.
Walk your feet together. Stretch down. Everybody go ahead and stretch pigeon.
This.
Storm stretch, patriot stretch, whichever you want to call it.
Slime stretch.
I have learned that it is officially called the pigeon pigeon stretch in yoga, what is it called? So, I didn't know that.
This looks nothing like a pigeon.
Yoga looks nothing like exercise till you do it.
You got a point.
I've never seen a pigeon.
It'll always be stone stretch to me.
Now, it was you that showed us the sciatica stretch the other day, right?
Yes,
When we finish with this, we show us that again.
sure.
Please, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Switch. Before I forget, and you know I will, promotions will be Monday night. We're having a very quick turnaround on promotions this time. It's coming up on Thanksgiving, and some of the military families have got to go out of town. So let's get that done pretty quick. I have another reason that I won't speak about because it involves a student. But I'd like to get some done quick. Once that's over, I will maybe tell you all about it. All right, good. Ms. Carey, will you show everybody that sciatica stretch, please?
Yes, sir. Okay, so if you look back at me, you're gonna put one leg to where your shin is parallel to your torso. And then put your ankle on top of that knee, the opposite knee, so that your other knee is over top of the opposite.
Not you, Ms. Pam.
Okay. Does everybody see that? So we don't want our feet like this, we don't want them like this, we want them in a triangle, so our shins match up right on, or stacked right on top of each other, okay? And then the first thing to try to do is to get this knee that's up, down.
See, without that.
And if you can get it down, then the next step is to try to walk your hands forward out in front of your shins as far as you can go.
You're never doing it right, Simba.
Simba and Jose are like, yeah. Is that stretching? This part right here?
I'm stretching right.
Walk your hands
I
forward.
feel the stretch right here. Supposed to stretch your back? No.
This part.
Yeah, I got these right there.
Yeah, that's your sciatica.
You're pointing to your back.
No, no, you.
I got good feel up there.
Yes, I feel it like in the thick butt here.
I'm not so right here.
Right here.
Usually it's gonna be on your right hand side where you feel it the most. Your sciatica is a nerve that comes out of your third lumbar vertebrae goes down on both sides. But it's bigger on one side, most people it's bigger on the right side. And it runs under the muscle here and down the leg. So when you're feeling that stretch right there, that's what you're feeling. There's a muscle that wraps around it. When I was first going through my hip issue, that's one of the things I was told was wrong with me. So I did all kind of research on it. And I learned all about it.
Alright, and then you switch, you put the leg that's on top right now on the bottom, put the other leg on top of it.
See, that has a good, you know,
And now you'll, now you'll feel the stretch on the other side.
this leg is better. We'll be doing this stretch a lot. Because this one I can actually do. You'd be sitting at school doing this.
Good, interesting.
The interesting thing is, even though I went through physical therapy for sciatica, I didn't know about this stretch until I did the other video. And then she did the other video, and I was like, oh, okay, this actually.
I'll show you a different version that we used to do with the, Parkinson's class. Sit in a chair this way, and you put it up like, put it up like this,
That's hard.
and then,
I've done figure four stretches like that, where you do this, and then you sort of lean forward
right,
and stretch.
I'm not doing that with Parkinson's patients.
Are you gonna be doing that anytime soon?
You know, I don't know yet. It's a quick answer. Yes, sir.
Are you gonna twist into a pretzel next?
No, I can't, I never do that.
You know, there was never a whole big market for it. Not one, a lot of people were interested. I had tons and tons of people ask questions and nobody showed up, so.
I know that Mike.
His wife's a soccer coach.
Jill. Tracy knows him.
Harold.
Actually, and he lets me.
He was a member and he quit coming.
He's in on the scooter with his leg up. The last time I saw him.
Okay, everybody stand up. Yeah, unwind first before you, if you can pop up out of that position, show me. All right. Brown belt. Bow, let's come forward. All right, everybody else, step back. So what we're gonna start class with, we're gonna do the same thing in this class that we did in the kids' class. The brown belts are gonna be our judges. Jacob, you want to do the scorekeeping again, since it's your turn?
Can you sit down? No, I get in the middle.
Miss Pam gets in the middle, thank you. See how that works?
I'm on the right side of them, right? This is right. This is left. Alex, can you get away? I want to be best friends. Howdy.
Oh my God.
Get your uniform and sign me up.
Man, you can't even get your foot to go your knee. All right, how you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tom Knight. Mr. Knight was a police officer with us here at the police department way back in antiquities. He was also the class president of my academy class when we went to police academy together.
They only did that because I was the oldest one there. That's the only reason I got that on.
He was also a retired, Army veteran too.
I wanted to come by and congratulate you and your school
Oh, thank you.
on, being the best. I think that's great. I think that's great.
Are you still living down there?
Oh, I'm still there in the woods, yeah. Beth Haven, they cook right across the street.
Yeah. Well, you gotta go far to get your shot.
Exactly. Hey, Don, hook me up. Listen, I don't wanna take up
Good to see you.
the pleasure of mine.
Good to see you.
Thank you all so much for allowing me to interrupt. Thank you.
All right, so, good to see you, Tom. Take care, buddy.
judging zeros.
All of that, right?
Take a marker and an eraser.
Good.
That's it now.
Yeah, do you wanna just give Alex a zero sticker, so you just don't waste time?
Alright, so we're gonna start we're gonna start reverse ranks. Miss Carrie only got a few minutes, so she gotta go, so Miss Carrie, you go first. Miss Carrie, Matthew, Jose come behind them. I don't know what to do yet. Then you call it the black belts. Okay?
Maybe sit down.
You may, yes, sir.
Good.
I'm not here. So the way you're gonna judge this, use a 1-point decimal system, okay? So 8.1, 9.2, 7.5, whatever. And if you do it like that, think about it just like a grade at school. An 8.1 would be an 81, right? It's pretty simple. This is the way I always explain it to people. With underbelts, white belts, yellow belts, green belts, I typically start at 7.5. If the division is small, like there's only 3 or 4, then yes, I'll come to an 8.5 or maybe even a 9.0. But I'm gonna start at the same point just about every time. Because all it is a starting place, okay? You want to have a range that you keep those people in. I have yet, and I've been doing it almost 40 years, and I've yet to see a white belt or a yellow belt that looks as good as a black belt. I've heard this myth that they're out there, but I've yet to see one, okay? So 7.5 is as good a starting place as any. 8.0 doesn't matter. What you have to do is you have to allow space to score all the other competitors in that division. So if you've got a ring that has 10 people in it, and you start at 9.0, and you give the first person a 9.0, what if everybody behind that person's better? Where are you gonna put them in at? You don't have enough room. What?
10.5.
Sure. Okay? So, you gotta have a logical starting point. Now, I said that to a black belt one time. They were asking, well, how do you start the judge? I'm like, I start everybody at 7.5. They're like, everybody's not at 7.5. And I went, holy, wow, he just does not understand how this works. Does it matter if you started at 6 or an 8 or a 9? It's not what you start at, it's how you compare to the other people that matter. So, it blew my mind, but anyway.
Mr. Harrison?
CARRIE.
You ain't gotta worry about writing the names down, they'll remember the order.
Huh?
It's fine.
Yeah, I'll just put.
So, don't do that, don't do that, so you can mess up, erase that. What you're gonna do, when you score the first person, you're gonna put it in small numbers in the upper left-hand corner. And you're gonna keep a row of all the scores right there. Okay, don't erase them, keep them. That way, if you forget, this kid's a little bit better than that second kid that went over there, what did I give that second kid? It's right there. See, you don't have to think or mess up and confuse two scores. You got it written down, all right? Down.
Let's,
Watch how they do this, what's that, how they come across,
Let's-
down the ring.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
What we're doing
Let's-
is we're doing tournament
judges,
preparation.
my name is Carrie Donahue, my style is Muay Thai Karate, may I begin?
No, ignore her. Yes.
Let's. Let's. Kion Kaji Shodan. Let's.
Okay. So, what would happen, you would have a scorekeeper sitting here on the side, and that scorekeeper, whoever the center referee is, Ms. Pam's the center referee, is gonna wait for everybody to write down their scores, and then she's gonna say judges score, and then the judges are gonna show their score to the scorekeeper, okay? Whatever your score is. Let me say this, as a black belt, and Logan, you're not too far off from being able to do this, you don't wanna be caught looking at somebody else's board. That is, you'll get kicked out in a heartbeat. So what the scorekeeper will do, usually, if they'll say 9.2, 8.0, 7.5, they'll call out the score so everybody around them can hear it. Then the judges, you wanna show it to the competitor, and you wanna show it to the spectators. Okay, if they're in front of you, show it here, if they're behind you, show it there, okay?
It's the camera is.
There will always be somebody there with a camera. Some parents gonna be able to hear film. Now, I will say this, I did a YouTube video on this, 3 or 4 months back, about black belts who think they're self-important, or they are self-important, and all they do is they wander back and forth between the rings, and I've seen this happen recently. You got a scorekeeper right here writing down scores, and this black belt's doing this. Literally standing this close, looking at what they're writing down, okay? If you're a center referee, you're gonna be in trouble. No, not the ones that matter, y'all matter, but I wanted you to hear this. If you're a center referee and you see another black belt doing that, stop it. Say no, leave the scorekeeper alone. Here's the thing about being a scorekeeper. You can be a scorekeeper. You can be a scorekeeper. You can be a scorekeeper. Anybody, they're volunteers. They're usually parents of kids, and the host instructor says, hey, I need some people to help me keep score of tournament Saturday. And mom says, well, yes, sir, I'll do it. So that's usually who your scorekeepers are. Anyway, thank you, ma'am. Now keep that score written down, sir.
Can I, like, give advice?
Yes, oh, keep like on the comment, absolutely.
Your pressure case were down. Right, they were down.
Top, gotcha.
These are.
Okay.
This,
Yes, critique if you see something.
This. Me and your Jitsuru Kata.
Sir. No.
Yeah! Yeah! This. You're supposed to hum. Oh. Okay, good, just.
7.9. Right at the beginning of the 7.0 for number 3. 7.5 in the middle, okay?
Slow it down just a little bit.
Yeah.
You're rushing way too fast. If you show the movements, it looks much more clear than if you just see it through it. So, okay, let's. Go.
say your name.
No, that's fine, that's fine. I know you don't know the conduct to do it, hang on. But here's what I want you to do, is say, go back to the corner, and you're gonna come back across again. Okay, where you started at, okay? Now. So, some of y'all don't know this, but Jose also actually comes to the boxing class too. And because he comes to both karate class and boxing class, I've learned quite a bit about this young man. There's not a nicer person on the planet. Jose is just a fantastic kid. That's what I want you to do though. Straighten your back, be bold, alright? Bow strong. When you walk across that ring, walk with purpose. Go. Good. Now, that's a lot better. When you bow into the ring, be loud. Us. Come on, Jose.
Us.
No, be strong, be loud. Bold, you know what bold means? Come on.
Us.
Okay, now, then you come into the ring. I'm gonna show you the difference, okay? Now understand this, I'm not making fun of it at all. I'm trying to help you overcome this shy part of yourself, okay? This is the difference. When you did it the first time, that's what you look like, okay? If you learn to do this, I'm gonna tell y'all something. If you don't believe me, look it up. You look up anything on YouTube and on the internet now. Psychological tricks. If you assume a position of confidence, it will make you just a little bit more confident. Have the appearance of what you want to be like. Have you ever heard the saying, dress for the job you want? It's the same idea. Present yourself as the person you want to be. And that will help you get there a little bit faster. Okay? Plus, okay, go ahead. Go next. Good job, Jose. Good job.
Right side down, sir.
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry, I'm not joking.
Go ahead.
Judges, my name is Jacole. My style is Mojikai Karate. I will be performing Hoseki. With your permission, may I begin?
Yes.
Bliss. Bliss. Hoseki!
Okay, Judge. 9.3, 8.5, and 8.0.
Bliss. Judges, my name is Simba Lu. I am from Motrek.
Do it again.
Papa,
860. Do it again.
Papa, what, Papa, what in
Judges,
the?
my name is Simba Lu. I am from Motrek Karate. With your permission, may I begin?
Yes.
Bliss.
Much better.
Bliss. Roy die. Bliss. 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 Bliss.
Okay, Judges. 8.8, 9.0, 8.1. Posecki! An 8.4, a 9.3, and a 9.8. Okay. Now, thank you. We're gonna go one more time, Ms. Terry. You got 7 more minutes for this 45 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Now, look at the scores that you've got, and look at the way they're lined up. And the person you've given the highest score to, is that the person you think did the best job?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now look at the person that you give the lowest score to. Is that the person you think that had the worst performance?
No, sir. I don't like how you worded that.
Oh, wait.
Yes,
yes,
that's
sir.
accurate, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sorry, I was looking, yeah. I was
Now.
looking.
What is the spread between your lowest score and your highest score?
That was pretty good.
What is it, Josh?
Like, let's see. Give me a second.
Come on, you want to shower.
Like, I'm doing the math.
If your highest is 100 and your lowest is 2.5,
Okay.
it's a 93.5.
1.3.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Pam, what's the spread between your highest and lowest?
My lowest is 7.5, so 9.3.
7.5, 9.3, so 1.8,
Yeah.
right? No,
Yes. 1.7.
2.2. 9.5 to 7.3?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes.
2.2. Mr. Ramon?
We exclude, 2.3.
2.3.
Cause I put,
What was yours?
it was 1.3. I
Okay.
put infinity
The
for
spread between mine, highest and lowest, is 1.5. So that's good. Y'all in that right range.
I'm
Okay.
very range.
Now, here's the deal. My lowest score that I gave was an 8.2. 8.2. My highest score that I gave was a 9.7. Let's just take Jose out because Jose was 8.2, right? Because Jose was just,
Oh, I forgot
Getting
to
acclimated.
say. Yeah, I put Jose as infinity. So
let's
I
take him out. Hold on, just bear with me, guys. Take him out and the spread is 1.2. Yes, 1.2. Is there really 1.2 difference between everybody here? Or is it more? Your opinion,
I feel like it's more.
okay? So from an 8.5 to a 9.7. To me, when I look at that, I think, man, your range is wild. But it has to be that way. It legitimately has to be that way. The reason it has to be that way is because Ms. Carey went first, and because there's only 6, I started at a 9.0, right? Well, Matthew came along, and Matthew's title wasn't as good as hers, right? So I went from a 9.0 to an 8.5. Why 8.5? I knew Jose was just doing this for practice, so I wasn't gonna count his score, right? I already knew that up front. That leaves 4 other competitors. I can put 4 between 8.5 and 9. Okay, I can fit 4 in there if they're all between there. Normally, somebody's gonna be higher, somebody's gonna be lower. As it turned out, there were 3 that were higher out of those 4. So then, when the next person came up, which was Nicole, right, I gave her a 9.4. Now, Nicole, 9/10 of a point better than Matthew, not point. Point is, where are you gonna put in your competitors? The reason I had to go from a 9.0 because Jacola was better, was a better performance in my opinion, I still had to leave room between her and Carrie to put the other two if they messed up. Did I anticipate for them to have a better performance with their black belts? I did. Does that mean they're going to do it? It does not. So you have to allow room in there to put those other competitors in fit in. Make sense? So it's a tricky kind of mathematics equation you have to go by there. Because you have to allow room for all the competitors to fit in. High or low. So it doesn't matter if you start at 7.5 or 9.5 or whatever. Now I'll tell you this, black belts and the ones about to be black belts. When you're judging, if you have two people, you can start at the 9.8. You only got two people, one's gonna be a 9.8, one's gonna be a 9.9, or one's gonna be a 9.8, one's gonna be a 9.7. You see what I'm saying? So you work within the range based on the number of competitors.
What's the most that you've ever had in one?
30?
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
At 5.0.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. What you do then is you have in your mind, so let's just say there's twice as many people in this division, okay? There's 10 people. What you would do is you would bring first one up, don't score. Write down the little score right here. Bring the second one up, don't score. Write your little score down right here. Bring the third one up, bring the first three up in a row, okay? That gives you at least some idea of where the average is at. All right, somebody in that group is either going to stand out or fumble. So it gives you a way before you actually start scoring publicly to kind of get an idea of where you're at. Then you call them up and give them their scores after that. All right, so it's kind of a little, not a trick, but it's a method of getting an idea of how to base it. All right, green belt, black belts, take their place. Miss Carrie's going to go again one more time because she's on a limited schedule. So Miss Carrie, you go again, just for practice sake.
So we're not gonna delete scores?
You can delete that, yep. Go ahead, man. Ignore
Us,
this one on the end. He doesn't know if he's still in the black belt test as he sits here.
us, Keon Shodan. Us.
Good, good.
You get the closer place.
So, I noticed, I didn't say anything the first time because I thought it's just, I had to stand. Come back to the yours. I noticed this both times. Your first movement, when you went left and block left, was way weaker. It got stronger as you went the next 2 or 3 steps.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so your first one, you're kind of apprehensive. Yes, set that tone right then.
Okay, yes, sir.
What I have learned over the years, people, your first movement, if that first movement is quick, strong, fast, your body will keep that pace, that rhythm through the whole time. So you're setting that tone early for yourself. Also, your first movement, in psychology, we call it primacy effect. That's the first thing you see has an impact. And then at the end, the recency effect, which means the last thing you see has an impact. So if you finish strong, start strong and finish strong, ever heard that before? That's based in psychology. If you do that, that's going to have a positive impact on the business.
Yes, sir.
That's when
Thank you, ma'am.
when you audition for something, you wanna be the first or last one.
That's true.
Us.
Thank you, ma'am. It's 7:45 now. Good job, Ms. Carey.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, the scores? Scores?
Well, no, she'd already gone. That was just a bonus. All right, hold on. Let's just her get the bonus round in. I'll, erase your boards. Nicole and black belts, come up here. somebody will take their place. Here you go.
Please.
So let me explain this while everybody's swapping places. The term center referee, right? Everybody hears that term. Center referee does not mean the person sitting in the middle, doing katas and weapons. The center referee means the person in charge of the ring. Me, as the center referee, I like to be down there. Or, if I get, like, if the tournament director comes up and says, hey, I got this brand new scorekeeper, can I put him with you so you can keep an eye on him? Then I'll sit right here, right? So I can work with that scorekeeper to kind of keep them in order. Doesn't matter where they sit, it's the person who's in charge of the ring. That has absolutely nothing to do with rank. I've seen some 9th degree, some people claim to be 10th degree black belts that can't run a ring for nothing. That's pretty funny. And then I've seen people, I'll tell you this, Master Coda had me running rings as center referee when I was a first degree black belt. Every tournament he'd get all the people together and get all the judges set up. When he named the centers, I'd be one of them. Because he had confidence, he knew I knew what I was doing. And I wasn't afraid to take charge. That's a big element. You gotta be willing to take charge. So anyway, don't get confused by rank or title or position, because that means nothing. Okay, Matthew, you're first.
Hold up,
Ma'am?
where's the center here?
We'll just forget what you are.
No.
Oh, yeah, you are. I'm sorry, Alex, go first. You ain't going yet.
Please. Please.
That's what you see in turn red.
Please. Please.
Ah! Judges, my name is Alistair Styles, Mojikai Karate. With your permission, may I begin?
I really hope that was throw him off.
It did.
Please.
Say song.
Let's start. Who said it? So what do we do? Ramon, when you get home, help him with something, please. He's got one curl at the top of his head is out of place. And now he's on step too far, and then he has his arm, and he sees, now he's on step 7. All right, go back and start over.
That was pretty good.
Let the man do his kata in peace, at least the first time.
My hair.
All right, now we know the sensitive spot, and now how to get him. All right.
Please. Please.
Say song.
Otis.
That's the two. Big one.
So while they're getting their scores together, standard thing, especially with a kata like Seisan. Seisan, Sanshiru, Basada, Kariudo, longer katas. The beginning's always stronger than the ending because you're winded. Okay? You've gotta learn to pace yourself. Save some of that energy for the end. Okay? Can you still have snap in your technique and speed in your technique? Yes. Okay? You have to be completely body tense the whole time? No.
Yes, sir.
Show me the difference. Yes, there's a visual difference. You can see a difference, but tell me how much better the technique is. Greatly better, some better, or marginally better in your first move doing this.
You're constipated, sir.
Okay, versus
Bigger.
okay, which one's better?
Sorry.
Okay, I was going way harder the first time. Right? So you have to learn to pull back just a little bit, and I mean just a little bit, to save some of that energy for the end. Was? Okay.
There's four.
So if you guys don't argue,
Write it down.
You're supposed to write down. Remember, hey, you're supposed to write down. Okay,
I
okay.
did.
Write it.
I did.
Okay, I wrote it.
first.
I did.
Am I supposed to write all the scores?
No. Just, like,
I'm asking you. Tell me.
you write your score down here, small, whatever it is, and then the big score in the middle, and then the rest of the big one, but not the little one.
Oh, but you're the scorekeeper. Keep the scores.
Oh, keep the score check on side, put it down. Oh, you're doing this for practice?
Yes.
You didn't say anything about that?
You
I thought
literally
you were
told me
doing it
that
last
was
time.
practice.
Okay. All right, 7.6. What's your skin score? 8.2. It's 8.7. Okay, I got it, good. Fire, swimming, fire.
Pencil is piggies.
Judges, my name is Ramon Luna. I am from Mojikai Karate. I'll be performing K. With your permission, I'll begin.
Should get through her head quick. Sorry, give it a laugh.
Us.
Attack, not Kate.
I prefer high. Okay. Fruit right now. Ooh, I'm a carrot cake. Oh.
It's just a shortcut, so we can make it there.
Ow! Us. Us.
Make sure you practice your spacing where you start in the ring, because you do not want to get up there and kick a judge.
Judges score.
Right here? Yep. This guy just said pie. Also, you might wanna slow down a bit. It's more slower? Like, I was like, whenever you're breathing. Breathe
it's
in
a-
more.
It's a shorter kata.
Well, you can make it longer. It's a skill issue.
Once everybody has done their kata, get your weapons.
Bruce. Judges, my name is Payne Kaiser, I represent Motion County Karate. With your permission, I begin. Bruce. Bruce. Kid! 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 Us.
This gonna automatically get sent. I don't know what you guys are up against. They're probably writing down a betting example. Let's hope. To the square root of,
Judges, score.
What's that little symbol in the upper right corner?
Yeah, he's just weird.
It's a little back.
He's sus. Alex, I want to go be my right now. You did. You're all that knows. Am I going again?
We get together, just get practice.
My name is Matthew, I represent Motor Thai Karate, and I will be doing Inu Jutsu Kata. May I begin?
Ah! Ah!
Listen.
I got, everybody in the room, I got a question. Did you see the guy run through the middle of the ring?
Yes, sir.
The one that stole his kiosks?
Yes, sir.
Because he had them when he started, then they wasn't there anymore. A lot of kiosks there you didn't do anything. He's strong the whole time, buddy. You got a great kiosks when you're doing
Judges, score.
This.
Okay? Practice your introduction, practice getting into the ring, be bold, be brave, that's right, strong, powerful presence, you know, here, powerful presence.
My name is Jose Gonzalez, my style is Motion Thai Karate. Well, I will not be performing.
Simple, we know you're not prepared to perform yet. The difference between what you just did right then and the first time is miles apart. Now, have we got you where we want you to be? No, it's a process, but miles apart. Good improvement. Thanks, sir. Okay, so what we're going to do, stay where you're at, they're going to perform their weapons, and we're going to just add those on as if they're different competitors. Okay? Good.
Like, just put the. Just half his leg.
You gotta just, whatever he does, just kinda go, yeah, it's okay.
Please. You're already smiling.
It is okay to smile during your call.
Please.
Your last strike coming forward, the left hand, a little low. Everything else is pretty good, except your stances.
Hey.
Some of them were good, some of them weren't. Gotta be consistent,
Yes.
okay?
Let's breathe.
Is this a separate?
Separate division.
No, no, do it like it's the
No,
same
ma'am.
division, they're just different competitors, pretend like they're different competitors.
Not nice words, sir.
Sir.
All right, draw a line, make it a different division, make it simple.
Sir,
Sir,
can I whack my opponent in the head?
this is kata competition, so there's no opponent.
Can I whack Mr. Ramon in the head?
Why, why?
That's called sitting side, and it's none.
Oh. I mean,
Technically, according to that, well, not any longer. It used to be classified as domestic violence, now it's not. Doesn't mean it's not a crime.
Judges, score.
why are you making that face? Then the last one you had.
All right,
Please.
get out of the way.
Please. 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 He's performing the new.
Good evening, judges. My name is Ramon Luna. I'll be performing cake again. Would you care to inspect my weapon?
If you're gonna be performing cake, I think they should inspect your utensils.
Please, with your permission, I will be handing over this cake.
Please. Please.
Apparently, he's gonna be begging to just carry the chair.
Please, a rebound time.
Maybe this one should be with cream.
Cake with whipped cream. Yeah, there you go. Well, ice cream cake, that'd be better.
Since they have the same shape, it's called candles.
Oh, he hates ice cream cake. Ice cream cake. Cookie cake. He hates ice cream.
Okay, this is a pretty chesty meeting. What you did is you had to went to the back here.
Yeah.
Next thing, all that power, all that speed, not gonna help you a bit in competition if you don't make the catches. Why did you miss so many catches? Tell me, give me one.
Guess my hand was out.
Correct. Correct. That's a simple fix.
Alex challenged me that I won't be checking because he's judging.
Judges score.
I so took him on that challenge.
The reason why I lower score is because the catches, stances, I like the deep stances.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that. If you're gonna do deep scodaches like that, be aware that they contradict the front stance that you're doing. You don't wanna really deep skodachi, you have good front stances. In my opinion, when you get down that deep, like the deep test sometimes when you're showing off, okay, that's not a good skodachi. Because it's almost impossible to move quickly from there. You have to find a balance between, this is an impressive,
I felt like it was quickly. Don't worry, I'll get it out of the beat.
no. So, there are some katas, like in, Mugen, Rohadai, when you push and go to the back, you can get down those because those are slow movements, alright? If it's a quick movement, you don't wanna do it, right?
I'd like to ask you, you gotta find a place to stop and breathe. You're just constantly going. It's getting tired of it.
That's me.
But find a place to breathe, and you'll be stronger through it.
It did kind of sound like a personality assessment. Spot on, too. Anyway, go.
Thank you, judges.
Dumb it down!
Took you from that challenge, Alex.
Judges, my name is Pam Kaiser. I represent Mordecai Karate. With your permission, may I begin?
Woods. Woods.
Uh-oh.
No. Turn.
Kid! Dumb it down!
Hands, guys, hands. Woods.
Huh?
No, obviously infinite. Figurines.
2.6.
Judges score.
What?
He's younger, so.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so brown belts, take over for this group. And we'll let them perform. And this will be a different. Weapons. I
I already got Logan's sword, sir.
got you. Oh, they're getting their weapons, Matthew and Jose go again.
So yeah, basically, sir, Alex said, yo, don't do Misha because Logan's judging you, and I said, bet.
I got you.
This is. During my testing, you were judging Logan.
Hello, judges. My name is Matthew. I represent Mordecai Karate. May I begin?
You may ignore him.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
This.
So Matthew, you were going up strong and slow to begin with, like we suggested before, and the kata started to look good until you missed, you know where you messed up, and then you started to pick up speed because you messed up. Trying to contradict that. Some of the judges don't know what katas you're doing because not all of them do our same style. So even if you mess up, just go along with it. Okay? You did good.
This. Right.
Okay, school.
This.
My name is Jose, and I study Muay Thai karate. I will not be doing anything today.
That's okay. All right. So let me come before, that group does their weapons. Let me come back to something, go ahead, Jose. That, we just talked about a little bit. Every tournament, I don't care which one it is, which system of school, every tournament we go to, when we have the judges meeting, okay? The same thing gets said about this topic that y'all just talked about. You don't judge a person based on knowing the pattern of a kata. If you know a kata, I know katas, guys, think about this. I've been doing this for 40 years. I've learned katas from other systems simply from seeing them so many times in tournaments. So I know katas, and I know, I'll be like, oh, that foot should have went that way instead of that way. But you have to think, what if that instructor modified it for his school? Okay? So you can't judge on that. What we judge on is very simple. Power, focus, balance, concentration, rhythm, speed, execution. And what do I mean by execution? Does it look like you're actually doing combat with somebody? Okay? Then you can add in all the other little elements like speed, flow, exchange. And by exchange, what I mean is, when you, okay, let's take Oseki for example. When you come from your side kick and you come back to your regular shoot code, is that little section smooth, right? So there's all these little things that have to do with martial arts skills that don't have anything to do with the kata. You can judge all of those things as well on Nijusichi no Kata as you can San Shuru. From white belt all the way to 4th degree black belt. It's all the same, right? Do you have good focus? Do you have good power? Do you have good rhythm? Do you have good balance? Do you have all those things? So that's what the judges are looking for. I heard Sensei Mark Rudd, one of the Andalusia Dictionary School, he said this in his last judges meeting in Andalusia. And it stuck with me. I don't know if that's brilliant. He said, your grandmother sitting in the stands can probably look down and say, oh, that one just looked better than that one, and be right. It's really not that hard. So with that in mind, be aware of what you're looking for. And it's not, as y'all were saying, it's not the pattern. It's what you are putting into it that you really need to judge on. Okay?
So as far as like the World High Show, because the athlete get down on that knee, they
I
don't.
promise you, when you do it that way, especially if you get judges where that's part of their curriculum, they're gonna automatically know that's a safety thing. Unless you get some of those, like the judges I was talking about in kids' class. Okay, so I'll tell this story real quick. since we're doing katas. I was at a tournament, I'm not gonna say which one, but I was center refereeing, and I was with two gentlemen that I knew, have known them for years, for decades. They're senior ranking people, and when I got those people assigned to my ring, I was like, oh, I got some people know what they're doing. Cool, I'm not working with ranking people again. And when we sat down to start the ring, I cannot make this up, they both turned and looked at me and went, how do you start your story? And I went, oh my God. How is this possible? How many hundreds of prayer turns have they been to? And they don't have to start scoring? So, what's up? Come on in, Mo. So you can't look at the seniority or rank of the person that's there and think they know what they're doing. Like I said earlier, Max Cota put me running rings when I was a first degree black belt. I'm 19 years old running rings. So don't be confused by knowledge in the ring. Okay? Does that answer what I'm talking about? It has finally, after all of these years, come to a point, literally just in the last couple of years or so, where tournament directors are specifically choosing who they want to be center referees. Usually they would just assign everybody to a ring and let the judges work it out. Who's going to be on. Usually it was by rank. Now they're picking who they want to be. The way it's happened in the last 3 or 4 tournaments I've been to, when we go to the judges meeting, the tournament director goes, raise your hand if you've been doing this long enough and you know how to run a ring. Thankfully, it's a small group of guys who go, yeah, I'll do. So it's getting where that's being acknowledged more and more that you need the right people running. Okay, go. Sir.
Do you think roller shows get tournament title?
Compared to what? Compared to say song?
Yes, sir.
No. Compared to any station? Yes. Compared to Hoseki? Yes. Compared to Sochin? No.
What about compared to the other competitors?
Me? Okay, I'll give you an answer to that. Mr. Rudd and Andalusia this year's class, they teach Saison, the Okinawan version of Saison, as a yellow belt color.
Oh.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on what that school teaches, where they teach it at, how it fits in their curriculum. So that's an impossible question to answer.
Interesting. Sir? Sir?
Yes, sir.
So I mean, really, the quality of the potential performance kata is based upon demonstration of technique, demonstration of forms and position, and then intensity, I would imagine.
Yes, sir. Power, speed, rhythm.
And that's how you should select it.
So
What displays,
everybody has got a different body type, a different style, a color that fits you better, right? Your Skodachis are better than your Zenkusadachis, in my opinion. So for you, a Kyokan Hidan would be better than Kyokan Shodan. Mr. Logan has fantastic Zenkusadachis. So Hoseki fits him perfectly because there's a lot of Zenkusadachis in there, especially in that first sequence. So answering that question literally depends on the person and their style. In Japanese, it's called Shikari. But there is a comparison between difficulties. And the only thing I can think about that is if you watch Olympic gymnastics and they say this being executed, this got a degree of difficulty and so forth and so on. If you have two competitors that have equal skill set and one does a Niju Shichi no Kata and another one does a Seisan and they do them equally well, which one's going to win? Seisan, because they're doing equally well with more difficult technique. So there's a balance there.
thank you.
Oh, listen.
This, that's probably one of the worst ones I've ever done. Yeah, this. You're mad.
Not the angry sense either.
You're really.
I don't hold grudges, man. You're welcome.
Oh, you're, I don't, I can tell. Alex. Mr. Alex, Mr. Logan. Okay, wow, Mr. Alex, I'm sorry. Technically correct.
How do you? Us. 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 Us.
How'd you win right now, Mr. Simmons? Yeah. You gotta find a place to breathe in that one, buddy. That was a booger.
Oh, fancy.
Mrs. Simba, can you help please? So, Mr. Simba, in my opinion, I prefer your bow kata better than, Mr. Logan's nunchaku kata.
Yes.
But I rated yours lower than his, because I don't see the fierceness in your eyes more than Logan's. Logan's, he looked like he was.
Oh my gosh, it looks like he's in the tag.
Yeah, but you look like you're just, I wouldn't say going through the movement, because you have.
He was. He was just going through the motions. Don't let it fool you. I know what he can do.
Mhm. You need that fierceness in your eyes, like, Mr. Logan and I guess me too. So, be in the moment when you're doing the kata. That makes your kata look 10 times more better. I like your kata.
That
I wanna learn your kata.
English, 10 times more better.
I wanna learn your kata so bad.
It's been hanging around you too long, so.
Alright, you can go down, out.
Thank you.
I have no voice anymore. I think I key it tonight.
It's not a game.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Nicole. I will be performing a tonfa kata, as you can see. May I begin?
Absolutely, ma'am.
Us.
I'll give you a dollar if you do that for second. I'm telling you.
Hey, $1 is $1.
Us. Us.
Am I still allowed to do cake?
We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
it's not right. No? I feel like you were doing, 7 count instead of 8 count, because after you did, you tend to stop and do the block, just like.
Oh, good. Oh, this one's good. What did you see? Look like it was the same.
Are you talking about the stuff?
Upper block.
I said running through the block, not showing. I got
Good
you.
eye, because I have a bad habit of doing that every single time.
Also, then I'll say this for all of you, it's called, what's the term for, you see something so many times, you used to see it and you forget that it doesn't happen anymore, there's a term for it, something blindness.
Oh, it's cognitive blindness.
Right, there's a specific term for like repetition, see it over and over again. Repetition blindness. So I see you do that so much that I don't even, it doesn't even acknowledge to me anymore. We've worked on that before. So I was watching for like the power, the speed, the rhythm, all that kind of thing.
I think what I need to do is I need to pause there.
Yeah, that's what it's saying essentially.
Right.
All right, so I have all of these scores written down. Now, just a few minutes ago, I said I would come back and talk about something. Does anybody remember what it was?
We're about K.
Yes, thank you. Now,
That's it.
you are running a risk doing that, but it's a positive risk. Here's what I mean. If you get somebody like me, and I'm up here, and you come up and go, I will perform cake. I'm like, I like this dude. This is my guy right here. I like that. Why do I like that? Because it's fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be exciting. If you get one of those judges who goes, oh, that was disrespectful, you think a little too highly of yourself, pal. So, which one are you getting? Are you getting those judges that are self-important? Or are you getting the ones that actually have a personality and care about the students?
Talk about the clothes.
Sometimes that's not a joke. If you got one that's got 15 stripes down their belt, you probably won't be goofing off. Okay? If you got one that's got one of those big wide, it's like a 4-inch wide red belt, you probably won't be goofing off. Most of them, and it's not like a big marching, but most black belts, they're like, yeah, that's pretty cool, that's funny, all right. Especially for adults. When do you do college? When? During the day, what part of the day do you college? Even. Those judges have sat and looked at 500 Keon Kata whatevers. And they are burnt out on same old, right? So by the time you get up there and you display a little personality, a little ha-ha, then yeah, that's good. It's a break in the monotony. But do it the right way, okay? If you're gonna be silly, be silly. You don't wanna get up and yell, "Hey!" Because then you're confusing the two approaches, right? So,
Or if you bring a piece of cake. Double points for that.
is it going to be carrot cake? Me and Logan were talking about carrot cake. If it's gonna be carrot cake, I'm like, don't even bother about it, about now. What was it you said earlier? And I said, I'll give you $1 if you say that. Oh, the way you kind of went there, and you see how she did it, and she was kind of low tone and was kind of funny all the way through and all that, and then she did her thing, right? You're not supposed to be judged on your approach or your introduction. You're supposed to be judged from the time you go to Yoy until the time you come to Yamang.
But do they,
We'll not testify to that. Okay?
Do they say that when, like, all the documents are gathered there?
No. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Mm.
Now, here's the reality of that. Even for me, if I've got students lined up, and there's this one little girl that comes from Pace, Florida, from Martial Arts America, I've judged her so many times, little blonde girl does Katana Kata. She comes, and the whole time, the rest of her divisions competing, she is just like this. She is respectful, she is in position, she's locked in. So, if I see her, and I know, I don't even remember her name, I mean, little blonde girl, and I see her, and I'm like, okay, this kid's sharp, I know this, okay? And she's equally matched in skill set in her kata with another student. Guess who I'm gonna give a little edge to? Because even though that's not in the ring, I'm gonna ask you a moral question here, okay? Even though that doesn't happen in the ring, doesn't that deserve something?
Yes, sir.
I think it does. That's called effort. What did we tell you we judge on? Power, rhythm, balance, focus, attention, right? Well, what is this?
Determination.
On top of focus and all that.
And effort,
Yes,
that takes, to sit there that long,
especially a child.
especially if she's doing it right. That's hard.
And she is.
That's who she,
Was. And they're not a traditional school. She's just picked that up somewhere about conduct, behavior. I'll point her out to you. They sometimes come to Crestview, and I'll point her out to you one day. So, just because you're only supposed to be judged from point A to point B, doesn't mean something can't happen to change that. Okay? Especially you got two that are neck and neck, and I gotta find a reason to give somebody a different score. Because you are not supposed to give the same score twice. You only give different scores. Okay? So I'm gonna contradict that here in just a minute. If I got two people who are equally balanced in skill set, performance in the ring, how do you find the difference? Where does that come from?
Your faces.
Lord, for my sake, I hope not. Now I said I was gonna contradict this. Somebody asked, what's the biggest ring I've ever seen? It's over 30. Like that, I've judged rings over 30 people in it. At a certain point, when a kid comes up, you're expanding the scores here, you know my winners are in the 8.5, 8.6 range. This kid's not even close. I got 10 kids at 6.3, that's gonna be another 6.3. Because they're not gonna place. You know they're not gonna place, right? There's too many. You know those other judges aren't gonna do that kids for that. So, that's a contradiction, but a way that can happen. Okay? All right, any other questions? Anything I can answer about college performance? All right, good. If you would, please put the, push the chairs back, everybody line up.
Alex, you lost?
I know.
Miss Pam, first place.
Huh?
First place.
Eyes, eyes.
Actually, sir, you got first place?
Jose did? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did.
okay, I'll just bow out.